So it's no secret that well, actually, it is kind of a secret. But if you've seen some of the streams I've been on, I'm kind of a fan of House of the Dragon. This last episode, tons of problems. Characters not acting consistent, ideology coming out full force, and well, a scene that let's just face it, it can make sense later on, but as it stands, no. Actually, two very moments from that scene where spoilers abound if you haven't seen the show yet are Princess Rhaenys. This isn't Rhaenys. Princess Rhaenys. Names are hard in this show. So Princess Rhaenys burst out of the ground atop her dragon, killing a bunch of small people because spectacle over storytelling, and then confronts the Green Council about, you've already heard it if you've heard it, had the chance to stop whatever civil war is about to happen and doesn't. She could have ended it all then, so everything henceforth is going to be solely Rhaenys' fault. Even though there's a lot of minutia details that have happened, but Rhaenys is going to be the new main cause. Because you had the opportunity to end it all there. But you didn't. So, found this article, and I've heard murmurings about the things that were said, but I haven't actually read them or seen what they said. But, my God. Just, the thing that holds this show back, honestly, is the actors, the directors, and all the people behind the scenes opening their big gobs in real life. That's what's holding the show back. And this is a perfect moment of them just needing to learn how to shut up. House of the Dragon writer Sarah Hess says Rhaenyra spared Queen... That's Rhaenys. Wait, what? They did say Rhaenyra. It's Rhaenys. Rhaenys spared Queen Alicent from Dragon Flame because they're both mothers in this terrible world created by men. See, trying to figure this out because Rhaenyra, God freaking, I hate these names. Rhaenys, this lovely old biddy, she has a legit reason for being annoyed with men, for that matter. She wasn't allowed the throne, at least in the show. It's been a while since I've read Dance with Dragons, so I can't remember all the exact details. I know they've been changing some stuff around, so I'm just going off the show because it's its own thing. Rhaenyra has a reason for being annoyed at men, but it's neither here nor there. Not everybody is pissed off at men. Quit making men the problem. It's not men's fault that Rhaenyra, who wasn't shown in this episode, it's not men's fault that Rhaenyra became a hoe. It's not men's fault that our lovely Alicent is kind of crazy. Granted, there's reasons for Alicent to be annoyed with a male, but not all of them. And I really hope they quit with this victim narrative. Because not all of them are victims. In fact, several of them are perpetrators. But, you know, quit actually looking at what's happening and keep going with whatever narrative you want to spin. Granted, this last episode was filled with their stuff. It was so freaking annoying. Anyways, according to House of the Dragon writer and executive producer Sarah Hess, the confusing decision made by Rhaenys, not Rhaenyra, in the series' latest episode to spare the lives of Queen Alicent and her fellow royal usurpers thus condemning the realm to warfare, was born out of the recently freed Targaryen princess's womanly respect for her captor. Yeah, yeah. You could have done this very interestingly, but they didn't. Because in the show, Rhaenys has, to her knowledge, lost both of her kids. She has legitimately lost one. The other one ran off with a dude. And he's somewhere else, but she thinks he's dead. And you could do that. You could have a way to make this all work without doing what you did. Because Rhaenys could have killed them all and stopped the bloodshed from ever happening. But she didn't. As seen in the climax of the series' 9th episode, The Green Council, the season-long battle between Queen Alicent and Rhaenyra for control of the Iron Throne came to a particularly brutal head when, after being freed from the former's captivity by Sir Eric, the Princess Rhaenys of Dragonstone... No. Bounding, you messed this up. The Princess Rhaenys, who was married to Corlys Velaryon of Driftmark, summons her mount Meleys and roars up from the depths of the dragon pit to confront her former confidant. No, to confront her. However, upon coming dragon to face the Queen, Alicent, Prince Aegon, and their allies, rather than putting a decisive end to the power struggle and instructing her mount to roast them alive, Rhaenys spares them, instead choosing to simply turn and flee the city. Usurping this merciful decision was met with confusion from fans, with many finding it unclear as to why Rhaenys would choose to avoid a handful of murders in favor of bloody, brutal war. Brutality of war? There we go. Presented with an opportunity to speak with the episode's writer and director, Sarah Hess, and Claire Kilner. Oh, that explains a lot. Respectively, Hollywood reporters James Hibbard used the chance to inquire just as to why Rhaenys did what she did, or rather, what she didn't do. Beginning with a bit of alternate history, speculating, Hibbard opened his conversation with the pair by asking Hess for her thoughts as to what would Alicent have chosen to do to Rhaenys. See, you even get it right there. If she hadn't escaped and refused to bend the knee. To which she opined, I feel like she just keeps on being a prisoner. No, I highly doubt that. Rhaenys is a super powerful individual. You can't just keep her a prisoner. You're going to have to make an example out of her, so you would have to potentially kill her. And I do not believe Alicent would have stayed this pure, kind individual that they're trying to portray her as. I think she would have just finally gone full Alicent from episode 5? I'm doing quick math in my head. So 1, 2, time jump for 3, time jump for 4, 5. No, I think maybe episode 6. Yeah, episode 6 when the funeral happened, because then 7 they got married. Yeah. No, I'm getting that wrong again. No, it would have been episode 6. Yeah, from episode 6 when she attacks Rhaenys. And I think she just would have gone full that on, well, when she attacks Rhaenyra, and yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Actually, you probably don't. But I think that's what would have happened. Like, Rhaenys would be dead. Alicent's not going to chop her head off. I highly doubt that, reflected the writer. She's more passive. She tends to let the men steamroll her in most cases. Oh, she directed people to do... She directed a dude. She directed a dude to go do bad thing. To commit... to burn down the White Worm's home. Reported possibly killing the White Worm. We don't know yet. I'm willing to bet the White Worm is dead, but I don't know. Again, it's been a little while since I've read the books. I can't remember every key detail. And plus, this show's deviated from the books relatively significantly, but keeping some of the main plot points here. So we'll see what happens. She's steamroller in most cases. So I don't know what would have happened, but Alicent was clearly okay with just keeping her there. I don't think she would have let her get murdered. I do. But I don't think she's necessarily would have set her free either. Then what's the point? To keep this very powerful person in play? You have to remember, at this time, you don't know if Corlys Velaryon's going to survive. You don't know what's happening. She's the current leader of Driftmark. You kill her off, you take Driftmark potentially off the table. Rhaenyra has nobody. You end up putting on your own person of Driftmark because you just took over the place. So what's the point? I think Alicent believes that she is trying to keep peace and stop war, but she's just working with the patriarchy. No, she's not. She's working for her own means. As seen when she is battling her own father. She has her own reason to doing stuff and wants to manipulate the men. That's not patriarchy, added Kilner, prompting Hess to affirm, Alicent believes if we can just get the men to do the right thing. No, you want to manipulate them. Turning to the moment during a recent post-episode premiere interview with Hibbard asked, so from the beginning, we have been waiting for Rhaenys to do something badass, and we gave us this incredible moment. It's very cool, but it did make me wonder, does it make sense that she doesn't kill them? Briefly mentioning that she's also murders a bunch of civilians by busting out anyway. The reporter was met with a simple explanation from Hess, and this explanation is not to get political, but this is how they view people like me and you. It's Game of Thrones. Civilians don't count. Yes, they do. Because if you at least follow the story enough, potentially what Rhaenys did is going to lead to the civilians doing things in the Dragon Pit and basically being the reason dragons don't exist as much in Game of Thrones. Pressed further by Hibbard as to why Rhaenys, God fucking damn it, didn't just pull the Dracarys trigger and save countless lives, possibly including her own, by preventing war, why just turn around and fly away? The writer explained, I think she just can't do it. It's not her war, she continued. The fight is between those two sides, and she's kind of not in it. Yes, she is. Her grandkids are literally getting married into the family. God, it's like you didn't watch the show. Oh, they probably didn't. She doesn't feel like she's the one to come in and do that. But you're right. If she had just incinerated everybody, it's game over. Rhaenyra wins and we're done here. But the cost is huge. No, it's not! The cost is huge. What we're about to see is going to be even huger. Bigger, whatever you want to say. We're literally going to see a war. Are you that fucking retarded? Jesus fuck. I also feel like the moment she looks Alicent in the eye and Alicent walks in front of her kid to shield him, said Hess, it's one mother to another. Rhaenys is angry, but in her previous sense with Alicent, she respected her. even if she doesn't agree with her. So she's not going to kill another woman like that. Don't go ahead and do it! Because now, literally everything from this point on, Rhaenys could have stopped. Rhaenys is potentially going to definitely die. Actually, everybody's going to die. Let's just get that out of the way. There's a reason you don't have a lot of these families, except for the Targaryens, in Game of Thrones. I mean, come on. You know what's about to happen. Rhaenys literally is going to be the main reason now that everybody dies. Doesn't matter what happened before. Doesn't matter what happens after. Well, actually, it will change some stuff after because somebody else might do something stupider. But from this point forward, Rhaenys is the sole reason everybody is going to die. Because she didn't take the kill. And coming to this decision, interjected Kilner, the team talked to Rhaenys actress Eve Best about this, and in the previous scene, she felt that Alicent really saw Rhaenys for the first time in a long time. In that moment, their mothers in this terrible world created by men, and she can't do it, she concluded. God frickin' it doesn't matter, okay? You're in it. The best part about Game of Thrones is everybody is truly equal because everybody is bad. The only people that aren't equal are the small folk, and you guys treat them like cattle. You guys treat them like they're not important. But obviously they're important because they all had to be here to watch King Aegon take the throne. House of the Dragon is currently airing Sunday nights on HBO. So yeah, it's coming out tonight. I'm putting this out the next day. That's why I'm still in the same outfit. But it's coming out tonight. And I don't know what's going to happen. They're going to have to find a way to explain this, but potentially they won't, because spectacle over storytelling. I still like the show. This was one stinker of an episode. Still has some really good spots in it. But come on. For crying out loud. No, everything in this, what these people said is stupid. Plus, Bounding, I gotta give you some serious criticism. This is Rhaenys, not Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra is somebody completely different. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Give it a thumbs up if you like the video. Share it out with your friends. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell for every time I go live. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.